Picture this. You're hanging out in your backyard, enjoying the sweet smell of flowers and the sound of birds, when suddenly you notice something strange. A big green apple falls from the tree in your front yard. You pick it up, and instead of an apple, you find a crisp $100 bill. You look closer at the tree and see that every single one of its leaves is actually money. So you grab a ladder, climb up, and start plucking dollar bills like they're low-hanging fruit. If this happened to you, you'd probably feel pretty rich, especially if the tree had, say, $1 million on it. But then you step back and realize something. The tree has infinite branches and leaves, which means it can keep printing money forever. And since all those leaves are money, that also means you can make infinite money. So what happens next? We made a whole video about this. It's called What If Money Grew on Trees, and you should definitely watch it after this. But here's a little sampling of what happens when money loses all value. At first, everyone's stoked. They clip money trees in their front yards and retire early, or at least spend all day doing nothing. But then, hyperinflation kicks in. Prices start to rise faster than the money supply, because people have stopped valuing money as real wealth. Since the government isn't taxing people on imaginary money, they don't have the funds to pay for public services. Pretty soon, everything from schools to fire departments to the military start to crumble. People need to carry around wheelbarrows of cash for basic goods and services. Eventually, people stop using money altogether. Instead, they trade gold or food or other real resources. Banks collapse because they can't figure out how to lend or value money that's just printing itself to death. Countries collapse because they can't afford to trade with other countries whose currencies are backed by things like gold. In short, the entire global economy collapses and a new way of trading has to evolve. Now, depending on how fast all this happens, people might have time to prepare and adapt, or it could happen really fast, causing total chaos. But let's assume it's a slow process. After a few years of economic uncertainty, most people have figured out that money doesn't really mean anything. But some people still cling to their cash because they remember when it used to mean something. Those people become very protective of their money trees. They guard them day and night, fighting off anyone who tries to steal their precious leaves. Since fertile land that produces lots of money is so valuable, it becomes a status symbol. Rich people buy up all the best land, growing so much money that they become the 1%. The poor move to less desirable areas, bringing along fruitless trees or no trees at all. Over time, society becomes divided between the haves and have-nots. The nots get desperate and start stealing from the haves. Crime and corruption run rampant. Meanwhile, the haves get so greedy that they stop spending money altogether. They just keep printing more and more of it, even though they don't need it. Eventually, they devalue their own currencies so much that they have to switch to bartering. But here's the weird part. All this greed and corruption leads to some unexpected consequences. People start to appreciate generosity much more. Giving money away becomes a status symbol. People love getting money as gifts, and they love giving money as gifts. Kids might see money growing on trees as normal. They might not understand why adults get so excited about it. To them, it's just another leaf. Money loses its magic. It becomes something ordinary, something that grows just like apples and oranges and other boring fruits. Maybe this is a good thing. After all, we already have a lot of money, but not enough of everything else. If money grew on trees, we might have to think twice before we printed more of it. We might be a little more careful with the money we do have. We might value experiences and relationships a little more. We might even go outside and plant some literal money trees. It's easy to think that more money would solve all our problems. But if we had infinite money, we might just grow ourselves into a whole new set of problems. Now check out What If Money Grew on Trees for more on this bizarre economic theory, or watch this video instead.